Hey folks, Studio here. Let's talk about Zed. Not Zillion, I'm sorry, but Mr. Clockman, get the fuck out of here. We're talking about Zed. The ninja, shredder, whatever you want to call him. Not really ninja, I guess, more of a samurai ninja. It's kind of everything. What do you do with Zed? Actually, what do you do with any mid laner? What is your goal? What is your purpose? Let's say you are in the mid lane. You have a creep wave here. It's your creep wave. There's a creep wave over there. That's the enemy creep wave. You see a champion, like, I guess this close to the camera. What is your plan? Do you just try and kill the creeps in front of you? Do you try and kill the guy that's over here? Do you try and kill the creeps in front of you, roam somewhere else? Do you just try and play passively far back, let them push towards you? What is the plan mid lane? Do you farm up so much that you're killing wraiths and wolves and just eating them in your mouth, and your jungler is just sitting over in the corner starved and crying? Because that's not a bad way to play in a lot of cases. Go EG. So, what the hell do you do as a mid laner? We're going to explore one of those options today and kind of explain why Zed can do the things he does, but it's a very beneficial way to solo queue. How do you solo queue? Because this is a solo queue game. Do you win your lane and then you win the game? Not necessarily. That wins the game for you, well, it wins the lane for you, but if there's 4 other people on your team, and they're all grouped up, and they're all just like, hey, we got our asses kicked in lane, help us, help us. If you win your lane, does that really help them that much? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But let's go ahead, let's hop in a game. So this is a solo queue game. As you can see, I'm in it. Look, it's me. But I'm not the focus. We're focusing on Rye SS. I'm going to call him Rye, because it reminds me of Ryder from GTA San Andreas. And you'll note he's not on my team. He won this game. Well, not won this game on his own, but he really pushed his team to a very good spot. And I really like how he played, so I'm going to show off a lot of what he did. This is Diamond 5. And let's go through, introduce everybody, because if they're in the game, they deserve to have their name shown. So we got Rye on Zed, Lil X Kenny on Evelyn, Mega Ice Phoenix. Mega Ice Phoenix. I really can't say that without laughing. On Graves. That's a silly name. Jackza on Evelyn. I was thinking about Mega Ice Phoenix again. And I Lava You Baby on Tarek. Raincloud. Oh wait, I don't have vision set to them. Raincloud 1 on Rise. Studio. Oh my god. On Alistar. Nimublipa on Draven. Bean Cookie. Cause fuck yeah, look at that name. That name owns. On Vladimir, and then Psyche Lol on Malphite, but he's not Bean Cookie because this name owns. This name just rules. This name's okay. Yeah! Bean Cookie. Psyche Lol. Fuck yeah! Zed. Oh, no vision again. Not bad? Alright. So, we're going to explore a few things Zed does. Let's start with his item build. What is his item build? It is Rejuve Bead. What's he going to do with it? I don't know. He's going to survive lane with it. I think his plan is to eventually build it into a Spirit Visage if he needs to, because CDR is actually really cool on Zed. So he's going to go for the Rejuve Bead. He's going to have 2 Sight Wards and 4 health potions. So his goal early on is survive laning. He just does not want to die. No. He sees Malphite show up in lane from over here, and then he puts a ward down over here. So, what does Malphite showing up in lane mean? Malphite shows up, or not Malphite, Rise. I'm silly. Rise shows up in lane, coming from this angle. This means that he was probably at blue buff, helping them take it out. So Rise, he comes through here. Zed sees that he came through here. This means Malphite can go 2 places. You can actually see the seismic shard. He can go to this jungle. I could actually go to gank mid, so 3 places, or he can go over here to his own jungle. Malphite level 2 ganks are not very good, so he's probably not going to go mid. Also, Zed is pushing in, so Rise is not going to be level 2, and Zed should be fine. So he's not worried about the level 2 gank, he's worried about Malphite ganking after he's gotten red buff. So he wards over to the left, and he used the information he got from where Rise showed up in lane. Pretty cool, huh? Usually most mids will show up in lane, coming from the direction of where the jungler started because they helped him out. It's a good way to apply pressure, and actually Zed didn't help his jungler. It's not a huge deal if Midlaner doesn't help, especially in the case of Zed, because he only has 1 spell to help with, his Shuriken. So this means that even though he knows where the jungler started. He showed up in mid lane right away. They don't know where Evelynn starts, and Evelynn is not a common jungler. You would assume blue buff. I would assume blue buff too. They'd be right in this case, but I really would have no idea where Evelynn starts consistently. That ward is also pretty huge. It spots Malphite. He does take a lot of damage from Ryze, and Ryze is actually very close to killing Zed here. He can flash ignite, but it wouldn't secure the kill. Zed would get away with, like, no HP. If we waited for his Q, maybe. But he survives the Malphite gank. He takes a lot of damage, but he doesn't go down in lane. He's chugging health potions, and he's just going to try and push forward. And so pushing forward is a really good way to pressure opponents, especially someone like Ryze, who has a limited mana pool. What does pushing forward do? You get the creeps to the turret. Most mid laners don't have very good AD. Ryze actually has pretty high base AD at 61 at level 3, which is not bad, but still it means he's going to have trouble CSing at the turret. He can use spells, but it's not going to help him that much. And you see like that melee creep dies to the turret, that cannon creep, he does snack it up, but now Ryze at risk of missing CS unless he starts using his spells. He actually could have gotten some of that. Come on, Q it, Q it, Q it, Q it. Okay, that one he got. Q it, Q it, Q it, Q it. Yeah, he doesn't get it. And this Zed went back to base. He's gone back to buy. He now has a longsword. The way Zed is going to play, he's going to just kind of focus on his lane until he hits level 6. And then once he gets to level 6, now his roaming starts. He starts doing stuff across the lanes. You will see a move from lane to lane, but for example, bot lane action went down, he doesn't even move towards it. He knows he has to get the levels first. And I like this prioritization. He also picks up a second ward to keep himself safe from the Malphite ganks. His main goal is to win lane, which he's already done by a small extent. He's up 4 CS. And once he wins lane, he wants to pressure other lanes. No, Ryze has not had a chance to go back, and Zed knows this. So Zed has a slight item advantage on Ryze. Ryze still has a crap load of potions, but that's not going to help him in a 1v1 very quick fight. So there, Ryze takes a lot of damage. It gives Zed a chance to CS, and Ryze misses a lot of CS being zoned out. When you come back to lane, you generally have a bigger advantage in terms of items, but a small disadvantage in terms of experience. If you note that, but they're the same level as you, you can usually apply pressure and come out ahead. And the big focus on Rai is going to be push, 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 and then do something else. Here, for example, Psychiel is trying to hold the lane. He's focusing on harassing a bit, but in the end, the shurikens are hitting the creep waves, the Shadow Slash is hitting the creep waves. Psychiel actually does a really good job here. He tanks the creep wave so that way Raincloud will show up and get all this experience and a lot of this gold. So Raincloud fell behind on quite a bit of CS there, but he's not in a terrible position. He'll at least have a decent chunk of experience because Psyche did a really good job holding the wave. So Rai, push, push, push. He tosses out a little bit of harass. He'll use Living Shadow every now and then for a little bit of forward aggression, but his main goal is just, get the creeps to the turret, get Ryze into a position where he will naturally have a harder time CSing. That's not a bad decision as long as you are able to get out of any ganks. Malphite doesn't have flash up, he's in a bot lane gank. So, he's just kind of hanging back. He has Shadow Slash available if something does go down. He's chugging through those health potions. It's like Raincloud, every time he angles to do something, Rai will just kind of casually back off. Now, he does go for this harass here, and he's going to get this kill. Now, why does he get this kill? Well, the ult finishes off. I want to look at this kill. This is a very neat kill. So, this is going to show how much damage Zed can do. But he's almost level 5. The creeps will probably die to his AoE. You can see that the minions that do die. But he uses Shadow Slash to get the Shadow forward and hit Ryze. But he also hits the creep wave when he does so. At this point, he starts auto-attacking creeps. Well, part of it was the Rune Prison. He was trying to hit one right beforehand. Why is this? Because it gets him level 6. He ults in very quickly, there is no Rune Prison, Ignite, Shadow Slash, dead. And he actually, when he Shadow Slash there, I actually want to really point out the Shadow Slash. This is something cool about Zed with his ultimate. You're almost guaranteed the Shadow Slash, because look at the position of the clone. If Ryze hadn't moved running away from him, he wouldn't have ran to the clone, but then he would be right next to Rai, and Rai could still get the Shadow Slash off. Cool, huh? So he kills Ryze, and now he's got to kill mid lane, he's got a CS advantage. This is a 1 lane by solo queue standards. I mean, Ryze can still come back, a lot can happen for this, but for this very second, I think even competitive plays would be very scary for the Ryze. Zed is just a million miles ahead. The team is still behind in overall gold, though. Top lane is behind on CS a bit, Vladimir has a kill, Bot lane, we're doing better. Because, hell yeah, check out the Alistar, who just went into the fog line of sight because Evelyn was coming for a gank and we spotted her. Because guess what? I got wards. No, I don't. No, I don't. I forgot the pinks died, and we went back to base because the pinks died. Ah! I swear to God I had pinks at the start of the game. Look, I bought more pinks. I have pinks. Anyhow, back to Zed Watch. So, like I said earlier, solo queue is not just you. There are other dudes. There's this dude over here. There's these dudes over here. There's that Evelyn. Solo queue is your team. And you want to do whatever you can to help them win. Now, sometimes that's going to be farming mid lane. In the case of Ryze, his main contribution is going to be when he gets really beefy and really scary. Zed is going to exploit that. What does Ryze want to do right now? He's level 6. He has his tier. He wants to kind of build it up, go for something like blue buff, and just farm. He can try and roam, he can try and pressure, but then he's not building up tier stacks, and he's not doing anything. We actually spot Zed coming towards the spot lane and back off, but we go for a fight towards the Graves. So Zed, he sees a confrontation coming. He was roaming before just because he had a chance to. Now he's going to go for the fight. And how does this fight go? Well, he eats the exhaust. They're just trying to man fight this out. Draven is trying to stay far away from Zed because of the really high damage that can be output. And, well, I flashed late and Zed kills me. Whoops. That was bad on my part. Should have flashed earlier. And Zed, he's able to just kind of stall this out, delay it long enough. Ryze does show up for the fight. And it does end up being a kill for Draven. But it's a 3-for-3 bot lane. That was kind of a slug out fest where Ryze showed up, cleaned up, and let Draven get his auto attacks off. What happened top lane too was that Elise got a kill into Vladimir, which is what should happen because that's a really bad lane for Vladimir. But why did he roam? I'm going to come back to here at the 9-minute mark. Why did he roam originally? Like, what was the giveaway? So let's kind of fast forward through this. He puts a ward down. They don't really spot anything. They don't know that Malphite's there. They know Malphite's there when Malphite shows up. But he roams just because maybe he can do something. You can't do this against every champion. You can't, say, roam easily against Twisted Fate, because Twisted Fate can always show up with you. And he can always push in the lane if he doesn't show up with you. You can't push necessarily against someone like Morgana or Anivia, because they can just push in the turret and take your turret. But you can clear the creep wave very quickly and then do something else. If the creep wave is dead, even if the Anivia is farming something else, if you can win an objective somewhere else across the map, maybe that'll make up for the fact that Anivia gets extra farm. So Zed, he did his job. It was 3-for-3 bot lane, which is not great, but still, it wastes a lot of time. Ryze didn't get a huge CS advantage in the mid lane and kills because he had to roam bot lane very quickly, and now the game's looking good. And it's like, alright, Elise got a kill, but still, an equal fight is not a bad considering what happened. Same thing happens. There's a fight going on top lane. Look how quickly Zed is on moving towards that fight. So he starts clearing out the creep wave. He's trying to kill all these range creeps. He spots out Ryze quickly. Then he sees Malphite. In the second he sees Malphite, he goes towards top lane. I think he was already looking for a roam somewhere. But he sees his chance and immediately moves towards it. And this is smart play. This is good play. He has his eyes on the mini-map, and he moves when he has really good chances. If there had been CS up, I'm pretty sure he still would have gone for it. He does miss the Shadow Slash there, and then his Shuriken, so he has to use the Ignite, but he kills Vladimir very quickly. And now the chase on to Psyche Lul, who has to burn the ultimate. So now they've used Vladimir ultimate, they've used Malphite ultimate, Zed is waiting for his ultimate to come up. It's up, Shadow forward, ultimate, Shadow Slash, Psyche Lul is dead. I like how he just kind of hung out there. And Ryze could have shown up for the fight. I think he could have feasibly made it in time, but at the same time, you would have expected the fight to end a lot sooner. I did not think Malphite would get that far out. Because if actually, on my team, I saw that happen, I'm like, oh, he's going to have his ultimate available. Because it does have a fairly short cooldown, 2 minutes, which is not bad given how effective it is. Rest in peace, Ryze. The man who did not buy enough pinks. Word of warning for Jungle Evelyn, buy a lot of pinks. Sight wards are not very useful unless they have somebody else roaming, which they do in this case. Zed's going across the map like crazy, but you need pinks. So Zed's able to salvage that fight. It was a 0-for-1 that became a 2-for-1. Cool, cool. That's good. That's good. And it's just kind of helping snowball his team. Rise is also being pressured quite a bit now from the jungler and the AD carry that had been taken out before, so now they're able to go ahead and do stuff. It's like, all right, cool, Rise still being held back. That is his team kind of backing him up. Zed leaves a mid lane, his team shows up and does something else across the map. And Rise is still being shut down in the process. And even if Rise had time to farm, it wouldn't matter, because if Rise catches up on CS, it doesn't matter if Zed's picking up those kills. Now this is really good play from both sides. I'm going to take off this one-sided vision. So Vladimir is back at base. He's going to head towards the top lane. Evelyn, they see the gathering. We all have vision on each other. We know Zed is there. You actually have a pink there. They know Rise is there, though. So because of that, they're both kind of waiting for it. Vladimir goes to top lane to try and push that out. Elise was going towards bot for a fight. Someone pings to go mid lane. I'm just going to assume it's Zed, but I have no proof of this. So now top lane's roam from here to hold the turret and make sure it doesn't go down. Jungle's showing up, and now they have a 4v3 being set up. Even if Vladimir went bottom, he wouldn't be here in time. But the reason this is such a cool play is everybody in the solo queue game is actually backing each other up. Elise is keeping mid turret alive. A lot of pro players will do this. You'll see mid lane roam from mid to bot, top roams from top to mid, because you want to keep this turret alive as much as possible. It's a very important objective. So this means that Zed, even though he's run bot, he's missing CS, but they're not losing control of the map. And Evelyn shows up. Taric gets a stun onto Draven. Evelyn gets a very, very good just ambush, and we're bound. This was a 3v3 that we honestly would have lost. And I think I said so in chat. Don't fight this 3v3, we will lose the 3v3. But they went so far to make it a 4v3. Now Vladimir's going to pressure top. What actually should happen here is Elise should be going top lane to hold the turret and make sure they don't lose any objectives. But they take Dragon, and they're also going to catch Malphite at blue buff. Now check out this pro Alistar. Check it out. I don't have spells available because I use them to kill creeps because they're at the turret. But guess what? Guess what? I got a Roar, I got a Roar, I got a Roar, I got a Pulverize. Look at that fucking Pulverize. 4-person Pulverize. Hell yeah. So what I said earlier about Elise going top still stands. Vladimir now pressuring the turret quite a bit. I don't know if he kills it here, but you have to be quick about your movements around the map. So Elise roams mid, holds it. That's good. That's great. You want to make sure that you don't lose anything else. And when you already have 3 people dead in the enemy, or 2 people dead in the enemy team, you probably don't need that much help doing Dragon, especially if someone's still top lane. It would be a 2v4 in that case, which I don't think Alistar Malphite could take on Zed, Taric, Graves, Evelyn, even if they are tanking Dragon. Does Vladimir die here because he took too much damage to the turret? Oh, I remember this happening. I remember being laughing a lot at this, because that's a silly death. You actually can't block Vladimir's damage with the ultimate, or at least that's what I've seen in the past. So, Zed, he's doing his Zed's thing. He sees a fight goes on bot, and he's going to immediately start roaming towards it once he realizes Graves isn't dead. Graves does a good job here. He's taking damage, like they see me killing the ward. I kill the ward, we get the CC on, and now this is like the fight has started, but we don't get enough burst on quite quickly. Draven a little bit, he actually runs forward, so he doesn't get enough auto attacks off. And we're not able to burst down Draven, so Zed, he realizes he can fight, and he's starting down there. This is good movement. This is a more obvious time of when you should be roaming. Or like you see a fight in your jungle, there's no one mid lane, go help them. Go help them kill stuff. And they saved Graves for long enough to get a kill on the Rise. And now they're in this really cool fight situation where they have this super powered AD mid who walks into an Alistar stun. Go me! But it still sets up a really good fight. He dies. He hasn't built tanky enough quite yet to really go all in. And he's able to kind of kill us. And then me and Malphite get really confused on what we want to do. I think we both kind of bait each other. But it still sets up a good fight for the enemy team. And they're able to pick up me and pick up Malphite. And top lane, is Vladimir gonna die? Is Vladimir gonna die? No, he kills her. Gotcha with that one, didn't I? You thought he was gonna fucking die. But no, Vladimir makes a good play right there. At least didn't have the ignite, so you could fight her. and he really comes out barely ahead, but it doesn't matter because a kill is a kill. I just want to say there's something I love when people say, which is like, oh my god, like, I barely didn't get it. And like it's almost a good thing. Like, well, I didn't get it, but I barely got it. Some people will say it like it's a good thing. If that's the case, it's not. It doesn't really matter because guess what? You got nothing for it. They still got the kill. This is a cool little fight. As you can see with the ward, we have vision on Zed. That vision's about to die, but Zed doesn't know that. So Bean Cookie has a very well placed ward. Zed shadows over the wall. He actually gets a good bait out. Zed could have flashed for that kill, but decides not to, and we're able to scare them away. That was a very good ward coverage. Vladimir just didn't commit. He just kind of watched Zed and waited for Zed to make his move. And once Living Shadow was used, that was the escape route. I believe we die bot. Oh yeah, that's a really good smoke screen from Graves because he couldn't chase down Tarek. And now I am boned. I am still boned, by the way. Alright, back to Zed land. So I was making funny faces and completely missed this. So I haven't really been talking a lot about Zed's mechanical play. He's had a few oopsie moments, for example, when he missed skill shots in Vladimir top lane. But he's been pretty consistent. He lands his shurikens. He's not really saving Living Shadow as a defensive option very much. But I like his plays here. So he doesn't make a mistake. He doesn't have any vision. Just pause it really quickly. What is his vision around mid lane? Nothing, jack shit. Nada. So he's got no vision. So he's pushing up forward. He's using Living Shadow to harass aggressively. Oops. This is something that he did very well early on in the game. He still had the sight ward in his inventory too. He was able to kind of keep control of where Malphite would be coming from because he had so much vision. So he makes a mistake here. He's going to do something cool down. So he ults just to kind of get the shadow down. Malphite, he's holding on to his ultimate. I think he's waiting for the shadow to disappear. Does he miss that ultimate? I think he landed it. I think that was still in the AoE. But Zed is able to juke it anyways, even if it was going to hit him. And it doesn't get him out, but it wastes time. And I really like this about the rest of his team. They see Zed is dying. They're not going to do anything with that. Like, Vladimir just died top lane. They take top turret. Evelyn's going to start pushing in this lane. And even though she can't do anything, pushing in this lane means there's no creeps for them to push back. So if Zed had died right away, maybe we could have pushed in mid lane, taking out that turret. It's very low on HP. But instead, now Malphite is just going to go top lane. Ryze can't push anything mid lane because there's nothing to push with. So he wastes time, and in wasting time, he lets a lot more happen across the map. It's cool. Very cool. So let's see. Let's go back to Zed Vision. Oh, actually, this is a fun little play. This is me not knowing Graves was super low. Because Draven just cleans house. And then dies a Tarek. And then I die. And then Ryze dies. But Ryze dies because guess who showed up? Zed to help clean up. Point stance. That was like a very solo queue-ish fight. This is fun about solo queue. You don't really know what's going on. I'm actually going to show this from my perspective because I think this is something important to look at. And the Eddie Carroll I was playing with was just like, yeah, it's okay, because he realized I couldn't see this. So I go for a ward here, and it's like, oh crap, it's Evelyn. I gotta get out of here. Not before hitting the ward once. So I'm just focused on this, and this is all I'm really looking at. I don't see that right there as I was going for that ward, Draven almost kills Graves. This was my perspective, I believe, like something like this. Like I really just only saw the Draven, and then once Evelyn ulted, I'm like, Draven's he's dead, he's boned. I have nothing up, I exhaust. And I think I headbutt her into the wall. But once I see Graves show up, I don't even look. It's like, he's gone. It could have really helped him, actually. So I guess it's not that big a deal. What is a big deal is that I'm stupid and I die. But it's important to look out for perspective on things like that. Because even though it might seem like to Draven, it looked really obvious that we could have 2v3 there very easily. From my perspective, all I saw was death and more death. So that's something you gotta watch out for in solo queue. It's very easy to kind of lose perspective of what's going on. Also, Malphite didn't have Smite up. So rest in peace, that blue buff goes to Zed. Now what is Zed building? He's got Hex Shrinker, Blade of the Ruin King. Blade of the Ruin King is ridiculous with Zed because it's 15% of the target's max HP, which if you use with Death Mark, it's a crap load of damage. That's way too much damage. Way too much damage. Now Zed, he's gonna focus on now just roaming across the map. It's no longer a laning game. For example, Elise was just mid lane. Zed is now the one going top lane. Zed can split very well, and his focus is really just kind of look for pickoffs and kills. The ward coverage they have in the jungle is amazing, and I think the wards actually just died there. But it's not from Taric. It was wards put there by his team. Like they spot us all recalling in this brush. Oh, that was Taric. Good job, Taric. And they had another ward here, and they're able to kind of keep tabs of us. And with wards like that, it makes someone like Zed, who can 1v1 super well, very powerful. Because if you look at the vision, let's go back to Zed vision, he only knows where one or two people are on the map at a time. But if he knows where, let's say, two people are in lane, and he sees someone in the jungle, he can try and take a guess that he can go ahead and go for this gank. He does the same old thing, though. He sees a fight going on top lane, he roams towards top to go ahead and clean it up. He actually misses a shadow combo, lands shurikens. He had ultimate up available as a backup too, because Chancellor Vladimir didn't have his pool available. Yep. So cool, Zed play. Now something scary for him is he's roaming through the jungle a lot, but we don't have ward coverage, so it's okay. And he's able to kind of do his good old thing. He roams through the jungle, he goes for the pickoffs, he's going for the 1v1 because this is something Zed excels at. And we have very squishy targets on our team because our team is just ridiculously squishy. So go for the back line, go for the exposed target. Me and Draven are going to try and do some stuff here. And we kill Taric and it looks awesome. Yeah. Now we die. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. This game sucked for me. I actually played really well with the Draven for the most part. Bot lane went decently, but a lot of bad things happened with that Zed. The Zed was 11-3-3 in the jungle. Evelyn really caught up. So this is a game that just feels silly for me. I'll show this fight. Zed, he's good at 1v1s, and a tool he uses often is Blade of the Ruin King. When he doesn't have it available, though, you just kind of slug it out. So he applies the ignite. He's going for auto attacks, and he backs off. Now this is a really, really interesting play, like that flash right there. I'm still kind of wondering about it. Let's watch it from the perspective of Vladimir's cooldowns. So watch the Vlad cooldowns. Look when he pulls. Let's see if Vladimir does this right. He should pull when he has stuff on cooldown. He does that perfectly, actually. So he jukes out of Vladimir's vision, and Vladimir's gonna have all of his cooldowns available. And he's got the shield. He's able to just kind of trick Vladimir. Vladimir thought he was gonna be out of range. Does he get the spells off? He gets both. He doesn't get the transfusion off, so he's not able to really do anything there in the end. And Zed survives, barely. Actually, I want to double check, make sure he didn't get that transfusion off. That could have just been Zed didn't need to flash in the first place. He actually flashed out of the blood pool damage, which might have been enough. Does he get the transfusion off? Was that just a manly play? Yeah, Vladimir doesn't get transfusion off. Wow. This I learned. Now he's playing it to the limit there. If Vladimir had been a little bit better, he probably would have gotten that kill. I think Bean Cookie and Champion Select said he was not super comfortable on top lane, so I'm not going to judge him super harshly on that. So, a lot of this is kind of a skill level thing. This could be going a little bit worse for him, but it would honestly be more of just a kill there. Ryze would have gotten more CS mid lane, but the overall fights he initiated, the stuff he was doing across the map, it was the basis for what really pushed the team forward. The rest of the lanes were actually doing kind of poorly early on. I mean, Elise did come into her own, But bot lane Graves Taric, I mean, if you look at their score, it's still not spectacular. Except Taric just have a billion assists, so that's good. But Graves only 5-4-8 versus a team that has a 12-3-3 Zed and 9-4-4 Evelynn. Like, there are a lot of kills in the game, not on the Graves though. It's because overall his laning did not go stupendously. This Zed, like I said, his focus is going to be kind of going for fights, going for aggression. He wants to keep stuff happening. He wants to keep the action up. And Zed's a good character to do it with, especially because of Blade of the Rune King's low cooldown. Now, sometimes he does get a little caught off guard. However, he goes for the Warm Logs, and he's tanky enough to actually take our damage. We don't have a damage dealer here. It's only going to be Ryze that's dealing the DPS. And he jukes with the shadows well enough. Watch this at 1x speed. He jukes with the shadows well enough by just kind of mashing on them that he actually kind of confuses Malphite there. Malphite ultimate only hits Taric, and that's because there's a crap load of shadows going all over the place. He jukes it at the last second. That's a really cool play there. Also, I can blame Malphite for the loss. No, I'm joking. And then he's able to go ahead and go for the 1v2s. There are no damage dealers, though, and, well, he kills me. Ryze dies to, or at least kills Ryze, as Taric actually is the one to finish me off. And then it's a 2v2, but Elise is super potent right now, and they're just going to wreck us. It's like Psyche Lol survived, but Psyche Lol doesn't do anything, unfortunately. He deals like half of something, but nowhere near the damage that Elise can put up, especially if Taric has the heals for the backup. So these fights are kind of all about objective control. That, in fact, was a 3v4. We lost bot turret for it, and we just can't deal with them right now. And this is because Malphite, who can eventually do decent damage, hasn't really had a chance to build up his tankiness. He doesn't have a Sunfire cape. He just went Frozen Heart very quickly to try and survive Zed's heavy physical damage. So we don't have damage dealers, we don't have a way to stop Zed. His main goal is to fight. He knows he will die if he starts the fights, but if he can keep consistently fighting, his team can very easily clean up. And if you look at how other fights are going, he's going all in. Now, obviously, this would not work if we were on equal grounds. If we were on equal grounds and we had a lot more DPS, we could probably just burst him down. We might lose 1-for-1, but we still have big, scary AoE initiation ults. But for the way he played this, it was a very snowbally style of play, which is actually how a lot of the European teams, if you think about some of the weaker European teams, they tend to pull wins out every now and then because they'll run a very snowballish comp, where it's something like this, where if the person roams aggressively enough, they will just wreck us. And I really love what this Zed does. It's all about the consistent pressure. He will go for anything he can. If he sees an opening, he forces it. In this case, he sees, alright, Malphite's slow, he doesn't care about him though. Vladimir's available, doesn't care about him though. I'm there, doesn't care about me though. Elise does though, and she actually deals a crap load of damage to me. He's saving the ultimate, he's looking for the important target. Guess who it's going to be? The Draven, the AD carry that's scary. Then immediately moves towards the Ryze. He ignores me completely because I don't matter. I was like, now he's going for me because there's no other target, but he's going for the squish, he's going for the back lines, he's doing his assassin job. And he can do this because the front line is too weak on our team, which was snowballed by his play. So now they're going to push this inhibitor. Goodbye, inhibitor. Rest in peace, I knew ye dearly. Gonna go for this mid turret, we scare them off though. Because, hey, it's Malphite ult Ryze, still enough damage to be intimidating. And we're at the last ends of the game. It's 43-21. The lowest deaths on our team is me and Malphite combined with 7, because overall Zed has just done a great job making every lane insanely snowball. And he's just going to focus on the pickoffs. So, Draven up top lane, sees him, kills him. Actually, he messes up that combo. Let's watch this again. This is kind of interesting. So he uses the Shadow to go forward. Then he uses the Razors. Then he teleports to the Living Shadow. At this point, Draven flashes forward. He can follow up with the ultimate right there. But instead, he flashes and then ults. And then kills Draven. And it's like, he gets the pick off, which means that, well, it's a 5v4. Even if he doesn't have his ultimate, he knows they can pick us off. And actually, Evelynn is just the one killing us. He's able to show up, not really do anything, but still be intimidating. And still, if the fight hadn't been so one-sided, he would also be there to clean up. There's not really a whole to show at this point. The team has done a good job snowballing at this point that there's really little chance we would have to come back. I'm one to always vote no to surrender votes. It's very hard for me to vote yes, but Jesus Christ, this Zed. It's like he goes for Vladimir once again. He goes for the pick-off. Looking at their vision, what do they see? Tarek's doing a good job putting wards all across the jungle. It's a good support thing to do. If you get ahead, ward everything, because then it means we can't ambush people like this Zed. He sees Malphite. He knows Malphite is there. He knows Ryze is going to be able to come up too, and that I'm on the way. But it doesn't matter, because he can kill Vladimir so quickly. Also, we're going to see a step in the studio logic. So it goes for the pick-off, not successful. Tarek's is here this time, though. And Tarek's able to go ahead, help deal enough DPS, and, well, they kill Vladimir. And then they kill Ryze. And then Zed, does he die? Yes, but way, way, way later than it would have happened. It's because he's so far ahead, and he's kind of starting fights on a whim. I still have exhaust up. I honestly thought we'd kill Zed faster. That was my bad to not use exhaust there. But my god, Zed was just kicking our ass so much. Holy, just, ugh. And with those kills, that's an ace. They killed people mid lane too. Look, pro plays, pro plays, pro plays! I think we lost at that point. I was streaming at the time, and I think I just yelled, I'm helping, as I just suicided to pulverize. Do I get one more suicide off? I think I do. But they just push forward to win. This is just the cleanup crew cleaning up. It's really funny when fights like this happen. It's like they're able to burst down one person, or we're able to burst down one person, but they just don't have the resources. Also, Gray's flash Malphite ult there, which I owned. It owned a lot. It owned quite a bit. Check it, 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 check it. Look, I'm helping. I'm helping. I'm helping. I stopped helping because I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying! No, game, end! Didn't end. And that was a solo queue game. But I really liked how the Zed played. He's got some rough stuff to clean up. Honestly, some of his mistakes with Zed's abilities, I think he's a little bit newer to the character, but the way he played really damn well. That's actually not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to go over here to the right and press it so you don't have to see the tab. So, what did the Zed do? Push, roam. Push, roam, push, roam. 1, 2, cha, cha. Up, down. Just kind of momentum. Push it out, roam. When he got that first kill, that was a big deal too, because that meant he had advantage. Ryze had to be scared of him. Ryze, he couldn't stop the push by just running forward and throwing stuff at Zed, because Zed had a good chance of just killing him outright if he did that. But in the end, you can do this with a lot of characters. This was the basis of Morgana for a while. Tormented Soul, kill the creep wave, go somewhere else, throw out bindings. If binding lands, kills. If binding doesn't land, go back mid lane, farm it back up. If you kill a creep wave in 5 seconds, that means you have 25 seconds till the next creep wave shows up, and you have to be around the area to maybe pick it up. If you get killed somewhere else, then it's usually worth it. Yeah, I hope you guys like this game. This was a game I played in. I do stream a lot more often now because I have a working internet connection. So you can catch me on twitch.tv/SovietWaffle. Going to be linked down below. I'm also going to be doing another Ask Studio, but don't put questions here. I'll be making another video for that. And yeah, that's all for this daily. Just remember, mid lane, you've got choice on what you can do. Solo queue, it's not just you. There's 4 other dudes you need to back up. And those 4 other dudes, they're probably going to need your help. So if you have a playstyle that's a little bit greedy, see if you can't find a way to start going to other lanes, helping out, doing your thing. The meta has shifted quite a bit. It's a lot about who gets early advantage and who can pressure quite a bit. This happens a lot more at the pro scene, where it's whoever gets the first 3 outer turrets wins. But at the lower levels, even just diamond, plat, even down all the way down to bronze, it's a lot more, well, if you can go ahead, do well in your lane, then help out other lanes, you can win a game. Alright, that's all for now. Adios, folks.